The biggest challenge as well that we face really with LLMs is that often the outputs can be incredibly fluent, but also just incredibly wrong. They're making stuff up, they're hallucinating. And we've seen customers try to solve this as well through prompt engineering. But essentially what we think is it's a fool's errand. Because what starts to happen is all of a sudden, every time they see a challenge, they put more and more in the prompt. And you end up, and we've seen this with a customer with, they're processing 1,000 tokens for a 10-word input. You have an input that's saying, you are a professional translator, expert translator from language to language. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And then the segment they're translating is hello. So what happens when you do this is that your processing slows down, you're sacrificing latency, and also your token costs are blowing up.
And that brings me to one fascinating thing we found out is that 92% of public parallel data are just too easy for the existing models. For our foundation model, it translates on par or better than the existing references in these corpora. That just shows how large quantity of the data are actually useless.
This is an important thing, I think. Bad translations with neural models were kind of just exactly that, right? It's just a translation which is just a bit clunky. But a bad translation with an LLM, where the output is really fluent, really confident, but also completely wrong, that's not a bad translation, that's misinformation.
What we found out is if you try the existing language models, you can go to all the various open models, even the constrained ones, and when you turn off their reasoning, their machine translation quality will actually go up. So it seems that the models do not know how to reason about machine translation, and it does not emerge automatically as it emerges for other tasks where the reasoning is super useful. However, on the same side, when you use the same models with a step-by-step chain of thoughts, they actually manage to boost the performance up. So the model itself is capable to improve the performance, it just can't do it within the default reasoning traces.